I thought to myself, okay, what did I used to do way back when, before I started utilizing pain pills and, anti-inflammatories as my, supplement. Welcome back to my flare-up follow-up. Hopefully this will be the last one. So the last time I had a flare-up with my shoulder, I was feeling better, and if you had a chance to watch that video, at the end of it I thought I was on the road to recovery and feeling good again, but it continued to linger on, and probably for another week or two before I really was able to utilize methods to make it feel good again. So I just wanted to share this with you. A couple things that I did. I did do a little bit of acupuncture, and I did a anti-steroidal injection, and I also had my neck adjusted. So I knew it was a combination of things related to my neck, my shoulder. I knew something was going on there. So that didn't seem to provide any immediate relief either. So I thought to myself, okay, what did I used to do way back when, before I started utilizing pain pills and, anti-inflammatories as my, supplement medicine, whatever you want to describe it as, to reduce the inflammation and reduce the pain. Well, it took me a while because, we all kind of get into our ruts. It had been a long time since I had done it, but I thought, what about a topical? I remember back when I was younger, probably I'd say 30s, maybe 20s even, and I would use topicals for my shoulder and for my back. And so those were things that were useful to me before the drugs came into play. And so I thought, let's do that. Let's try that. So I ran down to the local CVS, picked up a tube of goo, and so I wanted to find something that seemed to have very capable ingredients. The camphil. I think that's what it's called, right? Isn't that how it's pronounced? The camphor. I'm sorry, the camphor, the menthol. Those ingredients that seem to be pretty commonplace, in the better ointments or topicals that were on the shelf. So I did that. I did find some relief with that, but the problem with it is it smelled like Pepto-Bismol, that cheap spearmint smell that I hate. And then I found that I was having to use quite a bit of it, and I was having to use it a lot. So it did seem to give me some relief, though, however, in terms of, just the things that topicals do. And I thought, well, okay, let's have an open mind to this. What if I try a CBD product, topical, that would have similar ingredients, and let's just compare the two, because, again, I was, a little hesitant to go and spend more money on a CBD topical, if I felt that, honestly, I just really wasn't getting a whole lot in return over and above, what I'd buy at the store, at the local CVS. So I went ahead and did a lot of research, found a product and a company that, again, I heard good things about, and I looked at the ingredients to make sure that the ingredients were very similar to what I had bought off the shelf, just so I could do a very, side-by-side comparison, the main difference being, this particular product has the CBD component and the off-the-shelf product did not. Well, so for starters, I'll tell you, I love the smell of the product. It's an amazing smell, and just the smell itself makes me feel good, unlike the other stuff. Stuff kind of made me nauseous. And then on top of that, I find that I have to use just a very, very small amount of it. It goes a long ways, it lasts longer, and ultimately, I have been able to get my shoulder back to an amazing place in position, number one, but number two, again, it just seems to be a remedy that's really working well for me, and I'll tell you why. Another thing that I'll share with you as we get further along and get to the final chapter, which is coming up, I'm going to talk to you more about the experience that I've had with CBD in relation to me having more clarity. I've developed a tremendous amount of clarity with regards to my mind and body. And, this is, again, something that if you look at the research and if you consider the science of it all, this is very possible that this could be happening, that I could have a mind and body connection, mental connection, that's heightened above and beyond what it was before, especially with all of the other conditions going on. I mean, I was so overwhelmed by not only the stress in my life, but the issues, the constant issues that I had, the list, that I wasn't really paying attention to other things that were going on. And I really started to pay much more attention to what's going on with my shoulder, and I realized that there's more to this than just the shoulder. And in the process of doing my research, I found that I actually have another condition, and it's called myofascial pain syndrome. And what that is, it's essentially triggers or knots that reside, they feel like they're in your muscles, but they're in the myofascial tissues. But what they do is they essentially create a lot of pain, not only where they are, but they can create pain in other places, interestingly enough. But what they also do is they tend to contract, so it makes your muscles contract. So what was happening is the muscles in my arm. Now, keep in mind, I would tell you probably for the last 3 to 5 years, I've been doing my own treatment on my left arm due to the fact that I've been suffering from this myofascial pain syndrome. I have actually been doing my own treatments on my left arm for many, many years. Again, it was just something that I would do. I knew it wasn't abnormal to be doing it, but it was how I received pain. It was how I was able to let my shoulder relax, because my arm would be so contracted. The muscles in my arm would be so contracted, they'd literally be pulling my shoulder forward. So in the process of doing this research and figuring this out and coming to this realization, I have found that the CBD topical, and I'll share it with you here in a minute, what it is, the brand and such, the topical I'm using, that it was actually incredibly, incredibly beneficial to this issue, this syndrome that I have. Because if I find that I have a little knot starting to fester, I can feel it now. I can feel these individual knots, these what they call trigger points, festering within my arm and my forearm and other places. And I can actually apply a little bit of the CBD topical to that area, and ultimately that inflammation will go away, within 5 minutes, sometimes within a minute or two. So then everything goes back to relaxing. Now this is, a maintenance plan for me moving forward, because I have a condition now that I wasn't aware of that I had before, and it's not something that they don't know why it exists. I think, in my personal belief, a lot of it probably has to do with, again, oxidative stress. It's probably stress related. It's also probably injury related. But the reality is, it's something I know that I have, that I know I have to manage. And so now I have a wonderful treatment to be able to manage that, so I don't have the flare-ups, because I can tell as soon as and just to give you an example, last night I woke up this morning, and again, I knew my shoulder wasn't quite where it should be. It just didn't feel quite right. Now, I didn't have pain, but I could just feel something wasn't quite right. And so I actually ended up doing some exercises that I do from time to time, very lightweight exercises with some dumbbells, to actually, and this is, related to rotator cuff rehab exercises that I've done. I used the topical, I did the rotator cuff exercises, and voila, boom, my shoulder, I could just feel my shoulder going kind of back into place where it should be. It wasn't, again, it's hyper flexible, so it tends to move around quite a bit, but if it's not in the right place, it's uncomfortable. And depending on how extreme, that dislocation is, that's all, pain and inflammation, and that's heightened, obviously, along the way. But I found that I have come to a point within this journey, which I didn't expect. I found I have something else going on. It's good to know what it is. It's good to know how to treat it. I've been able to diagnose it. And now I have a wonderful, wonderful treatment for that seems to be working really well. So as I sit here before you right now, I'm completely pain-free. And that's, my back has not been an issue. But with my shoulder, I am completely pain-free, and my shoulder is feeling really good again. Keep in mind, this has been a 30-day journey with this shoulder alone. to try and figure out what on earth was going on, why this was happening, to gain some clarity, and to ultimately come up with a solution that's a long-term solution without resorting to the pills. And then again, another prescription for something else, that's just going to have another side effect or create more issues or whatever it might be. So let me share the product with you. It is a CBD medic, okay, topical. This is the back and neck formula. Now they have a bunch of different formulas. I mean, these guys have really done amazing work with topicals. It's their area of expertise. It's their specialty. And given my issues, I felt that the back and the neck product was probably more applicable, to my particular situation. And that's why I chose this one. And so, again, this has been just a saving grace for me. It's fantastic. If it's something that you think could be of benefit to you, there'll be a link at the end of the video. Again, take advantage of that because I've worked it out so I can save you some money on it. So you don't have to pay full price. But I think we got this thing whipped. And I'll tell you, it's been quite an experience. It's been quite a journey to get here. But man, oh man, it feels good to know what's going on and to know that I've got a solution to the problem and it's working. So I'll keep you posted on anything else that comes my way. Hopefully I don't have any more surprises. But the next video is going to be the last one on this journey. So stick around, stay tuned. I hope you can check that one out because I've got a lot of exciting things to share with you guys. Just amazing things that have taken place in the last 60 days. Some of which I had really hoped for, and some of which that I did never expect. So I'll see you on the next one. Till then, do good. Bye-bye. I appreciate you watching my video and hanging in there to have me talk with you a little bit further about things. If there's anything in this video that you feel would be beneficial, or any of the videos that would be beneficial to a loved one, somebody that you know, who's maybe struggling with a condition similar to mine, or maybe something else where CBD could help, please share the video, the content with them. Want you to do that as much as possible. Also, we would love for you to like the video and like us as well. That allows us to have more relevance and more prominence, which allows us to spread more awareness and more education to the world about CBD. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do that as well. That allows us to continue to keep great content coming your way, more stories, more education, more updates, more knowledge, things of that nature. Also, if you're interested in trying out the CBD Pure product that I have been utilizing, go to the description below and you'll see a link there, and we'll save you some money on your purchase of that product, and we'll continue to try and do that for you to help make that easier for you so you can keep on rocking and rolling. And then lastly, if you are considering taking CBD, or you are currently taking CBD, you have a pre-existing condition or you're on medication, please consult with your healthcare professional and have a conversation with them about utilizing CBD and integrating that into your regimen. Okay, it's very important that you do that. I'm not the one to give that advice, so it's very important that you get with the professional that's in that line of work to make sure that they're guiding you in the right direction and helping you along the way, okay? Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next one. I'll talk to you soon.